Is a tech convention where all the Black people who work in tech from around the country come and gather in one spot. Oh, she got a little booty, but she's professional.
New dating strategy, all right? I need you to look up professional organizations, annual and national conventions, and I need you to just show up.
Women flying out to AfroTech with the purpose of looking for husbands.
No, I talked to some of the bros. They said, bro, it's whole apocalypse out here.
Work event, so it must be a conference.
Open mind of just meeting people.
A lot more women than men.
This is what I'm thinking for the speed dating event. Too sexy.
Conversations that I've had with my high value male friends are also very grossed out by it.
Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Now, before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Are you looking for my number?
No.
Oh, are you sure? Because I'm like looking for a husband. I was wondering if you wanted to.
That's a good pickup line though.
Oh, thank you. I do try. We call it Riz. We call it Riz over here. Yeah, you respect the Riz.
Yeah, I respect the Riz.
Are you not looking for a wife though?
I don't mind, like basically if I find love anywhere, I won't mind.
Oh.
But it's just love that matters.
Oh, do you think like we could be in love then?
Maybe if I spend more time with you.
Do you know what? Maybe we should go on like a little date. I really love going on shopping dates at the moment.
Oh, you look expensive.
Are you like rich?
No, sorry.
Oh.
If you're looking for rich, I'm not the one.
Oh, I am, yeah. Love or money?
Yeah, I love money though.
You love money?
Yeah,
oh my God,
course.
me too. Yeah, actually.
That's my friend.
Oh, hey, are you rich?
What do you consider rich?
Like 6-7 figures in the bank.
Six.
I mean, you're in Mayfair, so you must be doing pretty well for yourself.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah, you are rich. Looking for like a wife or anything? Or...
Rejected.
It's such a shame. I think they just weren't rich enough.
Man, that's what it's all about.
So I'm going to talk about finding a rich man really quick. And it's a little bit cringe and embarrassing. I've worked for millionaires for a very long time, and I see the wives that they have. It's not the way these people who are not dating millionaires talk about. Literally every single woman that they date is in their bracket, if you know what I mean. So she matches his success. If the man is making millions, she's making just as much or right below him. They went to a similar college or they have similar degrees in that bracket. Rich men don't go and hunt for beautiful women. That's just not kind of how it works. They're normal people. They fall in love with who they fall in love with. Want to pull a Hailey Bieber and bend your life around to manipulate them into getting into their circle, then sure, but like, that's just a little, like, why? All just to be a part of this life that you think he's going to bring to you? And I'm going to be really honest with you, the lifestyle that millionaires have is not what you think. They're not relaxing, they're not chilling, they're not going on vacation, the mom's not sitting around doing her nails. It is not like that. From what I have seen, they are extremely busy, always working, and constantly on the upkeep of what they have. Life is not lounging and hanging out. She is running the house. She's taking care of the kids. It is not what you guys think. The only time you will ever see this is if you're dating billionaires. People who have millions and millions and millions of dollars. Multi-millionaires. Famous multi-millionaires. The literal 1%. And if you want to try so hard to get into that 1%, then you're going to have to be a 1% girl. Or appeal to him from his background or something. I mean, think about Cristiano Ronaldo. The reason why he married her was because of her background and where she came from and because she was beautiful. But you don't want to base your whole life off of finding a man that can give you a life that you desire. You know why? Because you have a purpose, and your purpose isn't just to have a luxurious lifestyle. Your purpose is part of your skills and who you are as a woman and what you bring to society. Is there anything wrong with finding a rich man? Not really, but sis, if you really, really, really want to find a rich man, then become a rich woman, and you're likely to find rich men.
I hear what you're saying, but women are not trying to hear that. These women want to find a guy that got the bag. You hear it all the time. You see it all the time. Interview after interview. Women want a guy that got the bag. Now, they're even paying to go find that man. And where they going? Let's take a look.
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
I didn't order an Uber.
We've got one now.
I'm good, bro.
Oh, Get the hell in.
Tell your friends to pull up.
Now it says me and AfroTech because either leaving with a job or a husband. All right, so now I looked at AfroTech. I said, let me do my research on the place, right? And here's what I found. So I said, who goes to AfroTech? AfroTech, an annual tech conference put on by Blavidity, brings together Black tech enthusiasts from coast to coast for a grand meetup and network event, right? So I look further and I searched, why should you go to AfroTech? Now, people who've experienced the same highs, lows, wins, and obstacles, it is an opportunity to connect, share, learn, and grow with other professionals of color to gain a greater understanding and outlook in your career, as well as the tech investment space. So, one minute thinking, these are Black investors and Black ones at that. They don't want the white guys. They'll take a white guy if they can get one. But these are Black investors all meeting up at this place. I want to be there. This is where I can find my husband. And that's how they're speaking. Let's get further into it.
Well, how do we feel about women flying out to AfroTech with the purpose of looking for husbands? Because apparently the men are in on it. Men know that women are doing that.
Oh yeah, they're aware. Oh no, I talked to some of the bros. They said, bro, it's whole apocalypse out here. The effectiveness and the efficiency of these hunters is crazy. And they're just waiting for what's coming to them. Pick the economy, and it's looking good out here to be a tech guy.
Somebody commented, he's so glad that she decided to decenter the attention for males in her life. AfroTech is not cheap, right? AfroTech apparently is $800 for a ticket, correct?
Right.
Aren't familiar with AfroTech. AfroTech is a conference that is essentially supposed to be like an amazing networking experience for Black people in tech to network, to catch vibes, to learn, to educate themselves, and to honestly be in the midst. And then apparently it's also a great place for recruiters to recruit for tech jobs.
Whole new dynamic that has arisen is a result of the TikTok girlies. Because TikTok girlies came online and gave girls tips. They were like, yo, like if you guys want these husbands, like there's a new hub, like there's a new hive. And then they're like, yeah, the tech guys are all there. And then, they're basically chilling out in these suites and hunting these guys down.
That's right.
So it was made popular by TikTok girls. But these guys are weirdo. But do you think all those guys are ready? I think some of them are. Some of those guys are well seasoned, used to women targeting for money. They already know. That's exactly why they got those jobs. They wanted that. See, a lot of men, they don't disregard. They understand hypergamy and they welcome it. And they take advantage of it. Now, they may very well be those a-holes that the girl's looking for, right? Those a-holes that won't commit. The same ones they complain about already. See what I'm saying?
Message is specifically for Black men and Black women who are interested in dating other Black men and Black women. Listen to me. I just did a talk at the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. And let me tell you something. This is the new dating strategy, all right? I need you to look up professional organizations, Black professional organizations. I need you to look up their annual and national conventions, and I need you to just show up. Show up. And I don't want to hear you talk about, ooh, that's being thirsty. You over here in a drought, and then you got the nerve to ask if it's bubbly or still. Shut up. All right? Show up.
Wow.
AfroTech Day 2 Fit Check. I am currently at the AfroTech convention. It is a tech convention where all the Black people who work in tech from around the country come and gather in one spot. I told my friends this was my last ditch effort to find a Black man, and if I don't leave here with at least 3 phone numbers of men that I'm interested in, I am officially pivoting my dating strategy. So packing was a disaster, as y'all know. It did not go as planned, but we did get a couple cute outfits. So here's the look for today. I have this super cute skirt from Because of Alice. It's actually a suit set, but today I broke it up so that I could have 2 different outfits. With this sweater, it's giving, oh, she got a little booty, she got a little body, but she's professional.
You can't make this up.
She got legs. You can see the leg muscles, but she's professional. And of course, it is freezing here, which I did not take into consideration, but I did bring my
coat. So we throw this on for the final look. Black flats because I had heels on yesterday. Oh, I didn't show you all my look from yesterday. I'll do a video with yesterday's look because that one was fire. But yeah, flats today because I had heels on and my feet hurt. So far, every man that I've met has been married and looking to cheat on his wife or unattractive. So let's hope luck turns up from here. Anyway, I'm off to a networking event. So I will let y'all know how it goes.
So far, every man you've met is married. Well, that's what you're gonna get. See, I did a video on this, not too, but like maybe 2 videos before this, and the woman spoke about turning tricks. That's what it's gonna be for you when you go to these events. Guys are looking to turn tricks, and she said one of the reasons why it's called turning tricks is because it's a trick. Those guys are married. Those guys don't want to date. They're focused on their tech careers. So that's what you're going to have to settle for. Turning tricks. I think she was right.
I'm recording this during AfroTech weekend. And if you're not aware, AfroTech is this big conference put on by Blavity that gets together a lot of Black people in tech on paper for job opportunities and career growth. But what I have heard from a lot of the people that I know going to AfroTech is that they are going to AfroTech looking for a relationship. But I have to come on here and say that, like, I am so sad for the girlies that it's come to this. I want to be very clear with what I'm saying, and that's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't go anywhere being open to a relationship or whatever. But what I'm starting to see is this like over strategizing and over taking in all this content on like how to get a man, where to go to get a man, what to do to get this type of man. And it's becoming ridiculous. Like, so many of my dinner conversations are about relationships. So many, like, Sprinkle has been interwoven into my day-to-day life from TikTok, which mostly is a joke and like it's fine, but it's starting to not feel like a joke and it's starting to feel like a serious situation that I'm concerned about. This is not to say that I don't understand the struggles of women, especially of Black women who have everything that they're supposed to have on paper, but are still looking for a partner. But something that I've really internalized, especially this year, is that if you want to be the feminine in the relationship, you cannot strategize yourself into having a partner. Of the women around or above my age in happy relationships, sure, like if you just got lucky, met their high school or college sweetheart and just they were the one. But the ones that have found these people around this age and are doing well and thriving in their relationships have one thing in common, and that's that they weren't focused on getting a relationship. They instead spent time getting clear on what they wanted out of life and what it looked like, and the person who was aligned with their vision that they took the time to define for themselves came into their life. I'm not going to say they weren't intentional about like where they spent their time, but they weren't doing these things that are just like borderline weird. And I have to tell you guys, the guys know, the men know when you're doing this stuff. They know when you're going to these tech or real estate or investment banking networking events and trying to date them. And they are grossed out by it. I'm grossed out by it. But the conversations that I've had with my high value male friends are also very grossed out by it because it emits this energy of like desperation.
No, these women are desperate. That's what it is. It's gotten that bad. They've tried everything. And they're out there and they're saying, high value man, high value man. You see it everywhere, right? Women saying they want that. But they're saying, where do I find them? I don't find them in a nightclub. I can go to a golf club even. You'll find them there, but what golf guy's gonna see a woman looking like a floozy and talk to them? No one. So that's not gonna work. Country clubs, we can't go there. Now, these tech events, they're gonna try. Now, some guys are going to give these women an opportunity. But you see, like the last woman said, it was a married guy. Yeah, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get those guys that are going to play ball are going to be married because they got the time. They may not want to be around their wife one day and say, I can spend a little time with her, and they will pay you. But you got to be a trick. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
I just want y'all to know, when I do find my husband, eventually, okay, because it's going to happen. Maybe he's at AfroTech, maybe not. But okay, so the reason why I think he's at AfroTech is because I talked to a psychic a couple months ago, and she was saying that I would find my husband, or she didn't say husband, she said person, but I'm gonna find my husband through work, like at like a work event or something. And I'm like, well, I don't have work events, so it must be a conference. It's delusional. And I know my husband is Black, so it has to be Black conference, AfroTech. You see what I mean? So anyways, when I do find my husband, I'm gonna be so obnoxious. I'm gonna be like, you see what happens when you like wait and you're like intentional about dating. Meanwhile, y'all been watching me swipe on Tinder for the past 2 years. Anyways, do as I say, not as I do.
Man, I feel like this lady, she stepped up to bat, right? Let me hear me out. She stepped up to bat on Kevin Samuel's show, right? What would be the first thing he says to that lady?
How tall are you? Dress size? How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself? Almost 33 pounds, 33% over your ideal target weight. Be reincarnated.
Or any guy for that matter. You're out of shape. So you want a guy that makes plus 600,000. Probably in the high, not 600,000. Plus 6 figures. Probably in the high 6 figures. To downgrade? Like the other woman had a chance, but she'd have to turn tricks, right? So you want them to downgrade. You want these men to downgrade their high quality of living or the high quality wife that they want to have. When there's women out there broken their butt off every day to look good and stay in shape, grinding, you not putting any work, think you can compete with them. A lot of you women need a wake-up call. No psychic or no one told you. Oh, the psychic could have told you that to take your money. They do that. But you're not going to find your man there. Sorry. Keep looking somewhere else. This is what's going to have to happen. You're going to have to settle. You are. You, Miss Big Lady, have to settle. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. It's truth.
Was AfroTech worth it? Well, I guess it depends on why you went. As a former tech girly, I've considered getting back into tech. And as a beauty content creator, I figured it would be a great opportunity to meet a lot of great women and men. I've heard some people talk about the positives and negatives of women going there to meet their husbands. And I honestly feel that if you go to an event with the open mind of just meeting people who are like-minded, then you'll just have a positive experience overall.
Yeah, she has better outlook. She has a shot, right? A guy sees her there and she's just chilling, cooling. A guy's gonna give her a shot. But the last woman, I'm gonna be my husband here. Oh, I met 3 guys and they're married. No, you don't have a shot. Because the guy's gonna see right through you. We can see that. We can see the desperation too.
So another reflection that I learned this past week is know what your purpose is when going into these situations. And I say that because there's been a lot of talk about how the AfroTech tickets were really expensive. And a lot of people are just going because they're influencers or they're trying to find a husband and or wife.
Let me just start out with this. Like, AfroTech is always fun. It's always a good time. I had so much freaking fun. Probably a little too much fun. I done came back with COVID. I got pink eye in both eyes. And something else. I done forgot what the hell is. Child, too much fun. So good. Last year when I came back, I was sick as hell too. But it was so much fun. But as far as the Singles Mixer event, the ratio of like women to men was definitely off. There was a lot more women than men. And Courtney Futch, who was the creator of the event, she actually released a video yesterday on her TikTok and Instagram, just kind of like detailing like what happened, like that was going on kind of behind the scenes or whatever. And people were definitely upset about the ratio. Like me, not. Listen, this was practice. I haven't dated nobody in 5 years. I wanted to just try to like talk to people, meet people, like men and women, just to make connections. It don't have to be romantic or nothing like that.
She's lying. But now you see that? The same thing you see out here on these streets. Bunch of women showed up to the singles event. Not many men showed up. Not many men want to go. They know the thirsty ones are there, only looking for the bag. Men don't want that. You know what these men very, very well do? They may jump on a plane and take a trip. Yes, these are the kind of men that have that kind of money. And men are doing that. They're going somewhere else to see a woman, somewhere else to find love, because that's where they have a chance to.
This girl wanted a rich and attractive husband, so she went on LinkedIn and found guys with impressive job titles at tech companies. Once she found a guy who was cute and rich enough for her, she went to his other social media pages and found out what his dad did for a living. Once she found out that the dad taught pottery at a local art studio, she signed up for his 10-week class. Throughout the 10-week class, she's dropping breadcrumbs to other students and the teacher about what kind of guy she's looking for in a long-term relationship. All she did was go to the son's social media page and list out all of his hobbies and say, I'd love to find somebody who does all of these things and has a great job in tech. The dad obviously overhears all of this and is like, oh my gosh, I have a single son who would be perfect for this girl. So the dad called her over after class one night and says, hey, I don't want this to be weird, but if you want to go on a blind date with my son, I'd be happy to ask him to see if he would go out. She's elated, but she keeps her poker face on and is like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Why don't you set us up for some drinks? They go on a date and they are vibing. He thinks he found his dream girl and she knows that she found what she wanted because she plucked them off the internet. From what I know, he is about to propose to her, which means she is weeks away from realizing her dream of sitting out by the pool all day while he goes clickety-clack on a keyboard at work all day, bringing home that money.
That right there is strategy. That's top-notch 304 them. It is. It is, y'all. You see how much work that took? You see how much plotting she did? Most women, because that was plotting. That was straight up gold digger strategy. She plotted. She didn't manifest. She didn't say, I'm a manifest a man. She went hunting. You see how thoughtful that was? That's what it takes. And most women don't have that.
I feel like after today, the people have decided we're collectively wrapping up the talk about AfroTech, so let me just throw my 2 to 3 cents before time runs out. My experience at the conference, cool. I will say, as someone that has never worked a traditional tech job, I was surprised by how many panels and sessions there were that I feel like were still of interest to me. So, for example, there was a panel session on beauty entrepreneurship with the CEO of Curls and the CEO of Mael Organics. Generally speaking, there were a lot of panel sessions on entrepreneurship. Once again, another example. Another panel on building your business empire, which sounds like an entrepreneurship panel. And there was even a panel on public service with Congresswoman Maxine Waters. And of course, as many of you know, Issa Rae also was the keynote speaker, which low-key, high-key was kind of a panel on entrepreneurship. I say that to say that as someone who hasn't had a traditional tech role or a more obvious tech role, I didn't get the sense that the topics of the conference were extremely exclusive to the industry. Say, for example, in the way that, like, if you are in law, you know, CLEs, continuing legal education, like, there's really no reason to be there because it is literally educating you on being a lawyer, and it's how you are able to maintain your licensure. AfroTech didn't really feel like that coming from my perspective. If anything, it felt more like AfroTech business and culture. That's not enough for me to buy into going to the conference or to pay for my own ticket. I was lucky enough to get to go through a brand that sponsored me and paid for a ticket at the last minute. And while I didn't really have any intention of going to the conference, I very much so did plan to be in Austin for Vibe. I have a friend who lives in Austin, and I figured if there's any weekend that I'm going to visit, it would probably be a weekend where we can guaranteed have a good time, because if you know Austin, and there were a good amount of people that I met at the parties, events, things like that also decided to come in from out of town to visit their bros or their girls, the homies, etc., because they had friends who lived in Austin and wanted to have a good time, because might as well. That brings me to the topic or conversation of people's motives for attending, more specifically the whole finding a man at the conference rhetoric that's going around right now. Personally, I think the narrative is being blown out of proportion because we are just like constantly online, and that's what's being pushed out there.
I've even seen some takes kind of shaming or judging or at least expressing disagreement with the idea of paying $800 to attend a conference because that's desperate, or you could do that in your city, et cetera, et cetera. Some things I will say is I highly doubt that they're paying for the conference. I highly doubt that they're attending the conference. They're probably going to the functions and the unofficial parties that are happening in Austin that weekend, because there are plenty. And when I say there are plenty, I mean there was literally a spreadsheet that had 108 rows of events that were happening over the course of the 5-day conference. And even then you may be thinking, well, still, why go to town for a conference for just the social event? And I would say people want to have a good time. In the same way that people buy flights and hotels to go to homecomings for schools that they did not go to, in the same way that people now buy flights and hotels, very expensive flights and hotels, to go to places like Ghana or Nigeria for December without having any immediate ties to those countries. People want to have a good time, and they want to have a good time because it is being marketed as a good time. And as long as it's being marketed as a good time, you are going to have people opening this app, experiencing FOMO, wishing that they were there, and vowing that they will be there next year to experience the same. And on top of that, I heard the conference is in Houston next year. So I don't know that the messaging or branding or marketing of let's have a good time is going to lessen. Last thing I'll say is we won't know who found their man or didn't or whatever for a few months from now because, I don't know, I guess things take time to marinate. But based on my experience, I can absolutely say that the men are not necessarily on this app saying, oh, I'm going to find a wife or whatever. But some of them definitely are coming with a certain type of energy. Certain type of energy. I went to a happy hour and met someone, and the third question out of this person's mouth after what is your name and where are you from was, do you have a man? I beg your pardon? What happened to hello? How are you? While I do think the online narrative of going to find a man is highly overinflated, if the conference remains a highly social touch point, naturally there are going to be people who go into it with the same approach that they have for highly social settings, and dating is going to be considered a part of that. Me personally, I had a great weekend with my friends. It had been a long time since we were all together. And I hope the founders and owners of AfroTech are listening to the feedback that people who genuinely care about the growth and development of this conference have to share.
Wow. You see that? You see the difference? She probably didn't look desperate when she was up there. She wasn't necessarily in the hunt for a man. The third question the guy asks is, do you have a man? Why? She showed it. Look at her. I doubt she went up there in glasses. She probably looked good. Had a freaking girl dress on. I don't know. But her energy wasn't showing, I came here for a man. And it shows, and the guy approached her.
So, do y'all remember that girl that got on here and talked about how last year she met the man of her dreams at AfroTech? She went to AfroTech with the intent to meet a man, and she found her man, and now they're moving in. Well, she partnered with AfroTech this year. She's hosting a singles event. I'm going. It's like speed dating or whatever. I assume it's like speed dating. Let me say that. And so I'm going to that. I will be doing that. But I want to know if the outfit that I have picked out is too sexy. So let me show you. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking for the speed dating event. Is it too sexy? I mean, again, I could meet my husband there too, right? And what if he see me, he'd be like, she look like she likes sexy red and do, right? But is it too much? And then I was thinking I could spare my feet for just a couple hours, and hopefully there'll be seats, right? So I could wear it with this, or I have some long boots somewhere. Maybe these, or maybe that's too sexy. What do we think? Help.
This woman is wearing blonde hair, overweight, expecting she's going to do the same thing the woman did. You're not. And as the woman stated earlier, there were dating events. There was mostly women. That's what you're going to find. Sorry, it's this woman. You're stuck in the same boat. Only thing is, when you go to those events, you don't have to pay the $800. But still, women are going to be paying $800 to get in those events and try to look like they're taking part. They're gonna try to fool the guys, but they're gonna look desperate as ever. Not gonna work. Yeah, guys, but it's sad, but women gonna keep trying. I'm not mad at them because they want to find a man, but the way they're going about it ain't worth it. And guys are definitely not wasting their time when they see them because they realize it's definitely more to life. They're getting ran down on by a woman like that.